Huey Newton said, "The revolution has always been in the hands of the young. The young always inherit the revolution." I fully agree. The college revolution leads the world revolution. People are very realistic in their goals. The guy who has lived 40+ years for the system deep down inside knows that he is not going to change the world. The 37-year-old man who's worked for the same business his entire life knows fully that he will not be a billionaire. He will never be a millionaire. This is his belief system. His habits and choices all reflect this lifestyle. He is a cancer to the revolution because he has already subscribed to the idea internally that the revolution will never happen. His life is in descent and he has accepted that his funeral is quickly approaching and his glory days are now over. The revolution will never happen in our lifetime is what he proclaims. Yet he also proclaims that he will never be a millionaire in his lifetime. And these two limited belief systems are entirely connected. What he really means is that his thinking is completely controlled and brainwashed. In fact, it is never too late, and he can still become a millionaire. He can start the revolution, and the revolution is a possibility. People over 50 don't want a revolution. They want to sit inside and post on FB. They want to go to work, come home and watch TV. They want to participate in online illuminism but have no motivation for a real revolution. Old people should STFU and support young people. In fact, being old is really just a completely fucked up and irrational mindset. Let's be completely honest. Old people post and talk about heroism and the revolution, but they have zero intention of actually starting or participating in one. This world is extremely fucked because old people have become a barrier for the revolution. Old people 40+ have become a barrier for change. A wall against progress and advancement. They are entirely egotistical when in fact they should be entirely humble and selfless. Old people will support the revolution and would vote for it, but again, let's be completely honest, they will never ever contribute to the spark. Now, this is not to say that all people over the age of 40 wouldn't be open to starting the revolution, because there are some highly motivated and open-minded older people, but in general our older generation is completely dead. They have accepted sedated jobs. They have accepted brainwashing religions. They have accepted a corrupt government. They have allowed the rich elite to rule. They have not done a single thing. They have failed to spark a revolution. Nobody is home. The older generation is dead. They have lived 50+ years on this planet and not done a thing. The entire generation is ignavi writ large. The entire generation should have given their entire lives to the revolution. They stood up for nothing. They tried to eradicate nothing. They let mythos, religion, and the entire rich elite completely rape their lives, and they never even fought back. No intelligence. No action. No highly focused goals. No solidarity. They should have taken all-out massive action. But instead they just sat there and did absolutely nothing. How sad. And yet here they remain, having read the God series, completely woken up, and yet they still refuse to do anything. They refuse to move. They refuse to do anything. This older generation guy/gal has just been hammered down by the system of false beliefs and negative thinking. This is one of the main problems with the older generation. Their commitment to a false identity, a false ideology, and an illusionary life is what is ultimately keeping them blinded to the truth that the revolution is dawning. Any non-brainwashed person can clearly see this. The college generation can clearly see the fucked up world. We can see the inequality, the failed job market, the failed college education. Entrepreneurship and network marketing is at an all-time high for college students. The tipping point is coming. We aren't accepting the old ways. It's only a matter of time until the entire generation figures out that the entire world is fucked and that we need a worldwide revolution. When the college generation looks at the world, we can see it for what it is. A bloodbath of privilege and mental illnesses. We see old people and we call them deluded, we call them insane. We know that these people accept and reinforce a fucked up system. We completely reject these people. They are dead in our eyes. It is easier to raise a baby than it is to raise the dead. It is therefore easier to raise a new generation to spark a revolution than it is to raise the entire older generation from the unmarked graves they currently reside in. Let's be 100% honest. If you're an older person, you can easily participate in online Illuminism all you want. But if you don't fully support a college Gen Y revolution, you are entirely unconscious, brainwashed, sedated, and fucked beyond any sort of intelligent recognition. The current and the past online communities were never interested in a real revolution, and that's because all of their members were 40 plus and 50 plus. They never wanted a revolution.
People like X, Y, and Z only wanted content and meaning to their remaining years as soulless Ignavi.
Instead of starting the revolution, they have focused on trolling. That is extremely revealing. Instead of starting the revolution, they built a regurgitated website on mathematics. They were in the online community for 4 straight years and they never accomplished anything meaningful. That is 100% revealing. The past groups used the word movement, which is also entirely revealing. They were frightened by the word revolution. A movement was comfortable to their sedated lives. A revolution, however, implies something entirely different, and it scares most people to death, and it's because this word attacks your very life. It attacks your entire identity and your entire way of life. The word revolution is not a word you want to toss around. It's one of the most powerful words in our world. If we think back, if the past online group The Pub had built a revolutionary constitution and set revolutionary goals, then by definition the entire group would have been forced to get off Facebook and start posting in real life. However, they completely avoided this, and this is entirely revealing yet again. They had no motivation or honest intention of ever starting or participating in any possible revolution. The truth is they were scared out of their minds. Revolutionary goals made them cower. I'm not sorry if this offends you. I actually hope it does. And I'm again not sorry if I ruined your life, because your generation ruined mine. The past online community never had any revolutionary goals, revolutionary constitutions, any revolutionary plans or objectives. This is disturbingly revealing. They never wanted a revolution. They never wanted world change. They instead wanted a community. They wanted an escape from life. They wanted egotistical reinforcement. They wanted a family of privilege.
Look at X, Y, and Z now that they've left. Where is the revolution?
They just went back to posting on Facebook. WTF. This is again revealing. The truth is they will never leave Facebook, and they never had any intention of leaving Facebook. And of course their only action steps were to take their comfortable online community offline into a comfortable room with light talk, light weed, light music, and light goals. If that conference had ever seen the light of day, it would have just been regurgitated G's, God series, and regurgitated Osho. No mention yet again for a revolution. Where art thou, revolution? And actually, because of this basic truth, there is no logical reason not to begin building the revolution and implementing action immediately. In fact, and because again of this simple truth, not to take action in light of this present truth is entirely irrational and unintelligent.